Hi everyone, it's Vanessa, your Wednesday vlogger here on Recipe for Weight Loss, and this week our topic is how we got overweight. I've already recorded this and it got to be 10 minutes, which with an intro just doesn't fit into YouTube, so I have to redo it. I'm keeping an eye on the clock. I'll start with saying I haven't always been overweight. I really didn't get where I am until events of 4 years ago, but it's all related to high school. In high school, I ended up going to live with my grandparents because things just weren't, again, I lived with them several times, but things at home weren't all that great, and I didn't want to go to school, and there were a lot of things going on. But when I was 15, 16, 17, all the way up till I was 20, I weighed 135 pounds, despite having a child in there. And this is what I looked like then. I don't know how well, or even if you can see that at all. If you can't, I'll get a picture of it again. I was overly thin. I'm 5'6", almost 7, and so 135 pounds, I was very thin. I wore like between a 5 and a 7. In Guess jeans, I wore a size 28, and that's the measurement of your waist. So, flash forward a couple of years, I had my first child. I started having these fainting spells, and it turned out my gallbladder was bad. And after I got my gallbladder taken out when I was 20, my weight started to fluctuate between 135 and up to 150 at times. And I even looked good at 150. I looked better because I had a little meat on my bones, I had a little bigger chest, and I was okay with that. But then I had 2 more kids, and I was 160. I wasn't happy there. I thought I was overweight then. And technically I was, but I was an acceptable overweight. And looking at pictures now, I looked really good other than being out of shape. And that was my problem with the weight, was that I wasn't in shape. So 160 on me could look good if I took care of myself, and I didn't. So 4 years ago, the end of February, I got sick. I had bronchitis, and they put me on medicine and got me better. Another month goes by, the end of March. I'm sick again, bad sick. In the meanwhile, I'm smoking the whole time. So I get better at the end of March. About mid-April, I start having a lot of breathing problems, and I fill a prescription for an inhaler I have. It lasts me 5 days, and I get progressively worse and worse. One Saturday, I went grocery shopping, and I couldn't breathe the whole time I was there. And I leave there, get in the car, light a cigarette. And I'm at a cookout, and I say to Eric, I know if I don't quit smoking by the end of the year, it's going to kill me. 24 hours later, it almost did. I took a puff off a cigarette at about 11 o'clock at night on April 30th on my front porch, because we never smoked in the house with the kids. And I took one puff, and I just could not breathe at all. I threw the cigarette, and that was the last one I ever smoked. Eric managed to calm me down enough to where I could breathe, but the next day I knew it was really bad. The next morning I went to urgent care and was given 2 breathing treatments, and they said to me that I was fine, I could go home, despite the fact that my oxygen level was 93, which was actually worse after the breathing treatments. So, more of the day goes by, and my breathing has not improved at all. Thinking about it just makes me short of breath, and I don't get short of breath anymore. I don't have any breathing problems related to it. I don't know, maybe it's in my head. So anyway, I'm at home, and I just decide there's nothing I can do here. I need to go to the hospital. They need to look me over. Oh my God, I'm going to turn out to have lungs filled with tumors. Instead, what it was it was such a bad asthma attack that I was having Then I ended up in the hospital for 8 days, 3 of which were in ICU, and 7 of which I was on oxygen almost the entire time. So I come home and I'm very weak because I've spent 8 days in bed. So exercise isn't something I'm going to be doing. And I'm on steroids this entire time and another 2 or 3 weeks afterward, which made me eat, and I was bored, and I wasn't smoking, and I had to learn to do everything again without a cigarette. They had commercials about it, and I really did. I had to learn how to do everything without them. I've never wanted them since, but the effects of, like, I can breathe and stuff. I don't have issues related to the smoking anymore. But about 3 months after all that went down, I fell on my tailbone so bad that it triggered my fibromyalgia, and I didn't go to the doctor for 9 months after that. So, stupid me. I gained more weight because of the steroids. By the time I went to the doctor, I was over 200 pounds, and it just kept getting worse. So, my weight is caused by my health. Like, the way I see it is, yes, I'm overweight. I could have stayed skinny by continuing to smoke. I would have died. So I figure, despite the fact that I weigh 80 pounds more than when I quit smoking, I'm still healthy. My lungs work fine. I do know that I need to lose the weight because I'm already at risk for diabetes, and I'm actually starting to become a little concerned that that's reality for me. I know that there's emotional parts of my weight too, but I can't really do it on my own without support, and it's really hard to come by these days. So that's what this channel's for, and the girls that I've met on here who I hope to call my friends one day as we get to know each other a little better. But I am fat, and I don't even want to call myself fat. I'm overweight because I decided to get healthy. If that makes no sense. But if you know my story, it does make sense. I'm overweight because I chose to become healthy. And by being healthy, I had to gain this weight. So now I need to take my life back and live healthy. None of that makes sense to anybody but me. Anyway, tomorrow is dawn, and I will be back next Wednesday. Have a good weekend.